Before you can replace your radiator, you're going to need to remove the front air ducts, the lower splash shield, drain the radiator, then refill it and bleed it. Please see the link at the end of this video for assistance with all those projects. Using a flathead screwdriver, release the upper radiator hose retaining clip by prying up. The hose clip will stop in the unlocked position. I suggest leaving it installed on the hose so you don't lose it. Using a flathead screwdriver, release the upper radiator hose retaining clip by prying up on the hose clip and it will stop in the up position. I suggest again leaving it installed on the hose so you don't lose it. Then disconnect the hose by pulling it straight off of the oil filter housing. You may have to wiggle the hose a bit to get it to move free. Be careful not to damage the end of the hose since it is made of plastic. Then disconnect the hose from the radiator. Again, you may have to wiggle the hose a bit to get it to move free. Careful not to damage the hose or the radiator fitting. Both are made of plastic. Once the upper radiator hose is removed from the oil filter housing and the radiator, lay it aside towards the cabin microfilter housing so it is out of the way for the remainder of the procedure. Working at the lower right side of the radiator, disconnect the radiator outlet temperature sensor electrical connector, as indicated by the green arrow. Press the retaining wire and pull the connector straight off the sensor. Next, using a flathead screwdriver, release the lower radiator hose retaining clip by prying it up. Then disconnect the hose by pulling off the coolant radiator fitting. You may have to wiggle the hose a bit to get it to move free. Again, use caution, the ends are plastic. You will be replacing the radiator, but if you damage the plastic on the hose, you will be replacing the hose as well. Working at the top driver's side corner of the radiator, remove the T25 torque fastener as indicated by the green arrow. Working at the top passenger side corner of the radiator, remove the T25 torque fastener, green arrow. To remove the radiator, pull it out of the radiator support towards the engine, then pull it up and out of the engine compartment. Lower the new radiator into the engine compartment and install on the supports. You will want to check that the radiator is properly engaged to its supports. The way I do this is once the radiator is installed without the fasteners, I pull on the bottom of it. It should stay put. If it pulls out, you did not get it in correctly. If it's not installed correctly, you will have to lift it up and try again. Once it's installed properly, install both T25 torque fasteners and tighten. Install both radiator hoses. Retaining clips are properly seated when you hear an audible click. Connect the radiator outlet temperature sensor electrical connector, then install the cooling fan and fill and bleed the cooling system. Again, see the link at the end of this video for assistance with doing those procedures. Run the engine and double check for coolant leaks. Thanks for watching. Click here to view the original article along with hundreds of other DIY content for your car.